Hi folks, and welcome back to my reviews of the New Jedi Order. Today we're going to talk about a short story written by Elaine Cunningham. It's called The Apprentice, and it was in Star Wars Gamer number 8. And this takes place in between Dark Journey. So somewhere in between there they have this little side adventure. I'm not sure if this was a lost chapter by Elaine Cunningham that she just turned into a short story, or something that she thought afterwards, like when the gamer said, hey, do you have any short stories to give us, to promote your Dark Journey book? She went, sure. And maybe she just came up with it. Either way, it's just a short story where Jaina, Kip, Lobaka, and Tenel Ka fly out to a scientist station because they're looking at ways of defeating the Vong. And of course, biowarfare is something that just keeps coming up against the Vong. And it's something that the New Republic is very interested in, a bioweapon to take out the Vong. So Jaina and Kip think they know the answer, and what they do, they smuggle in this pirate who has Vong implants so that the scientists can work on him to find something they can use against the Vong. Now this is kind of wrong, right? Using a human research subject. And Lobaka finds out what Kip and Jaina are up to. So Jaina decides she tries to argue with Lobaka first off, saying, look, this is the right thing. We got to do whatever we can. So what? We may have to sacrifice this one man, but it'd be worth it. When Lobaka is vehemently in disagreement with her, she mind wipes him to forget about the whole thing. I mean, that's pretty wild. It kind of shows Jaina going an extra step toward that dark path, and kind of Kip enabling her because she's listening more to Kip. In a way, she is the apprentice under Kip. Kip skates and does the wrong thing, or he, kind of cuts corners, which can be very dangerous. Again, putting Kip in a poor light. But I see the point of this. I'm like, yeah, I'm still agreeing with Jaina and Kip here. I won't let that decision go, because I really think they were on the right side of this. Anyway, it is kind of crazy that she mind wipes literally her best friend. If you think about it, Jason and Tenel Ka were friends in Young Jedi Knights, and Jaina's closest friend was Lobaka growing up and in the academy. So for her to mind wipe Lobaka, that's a big deal. You don't do that to just anyone. I found that very interesting, and it's a pretty good short story. Now, I should take this time to mention that there were a lot of other super weapons that were mentioned in the New Jedi Order from the Bantam era that could be used against the Vong. In fact, it takes place shortly after, I think, Star by Star. I don't remember what book, I just can't recall, but I remember they were all sitting around having this conversation of what can we use to fight the Vong. Centerpoint Station is brought up again. Unfortunately, with the death of Anakin, it is rendered useless, so they can't use that. They bring up other things like the Eye of Palpatine from Children of the Jedi, and they say, hey, if there was one super ship hanging around, wouldn't there be a second Eye of Palpatine? And for a while I thought, are they going to go search for the other Eye of Palpatine? That'd be really cool. And then you're thinking, maybe there is another Eye of Palpatine ship. It doesn't matter. The idea gets shot down because the first one was kind of found by mistake or by accident, and finding the other one out there in the galaxy, if there was one, would be like finding a needle in a haystack, and it's going to be way out in the galaxy too if it does exist. And of course they bring up the Sun Crusher, as we know from Kevin J. Anderson's trilogy, the indestructible Sun Crusher. Wow, that could really cause destruction with the Vong. It is shot down for a proper reason as well. Luke mentions, yeah, but it also makes stars go supernova and wipes out quadrants of space. That's a little too powerful. I wouldn't trust anyone after the debacle with Centerpoint Station. I wouldn't trust anyone, even myself, to fly and man the Sun Crusher and that happen again. You see, Luke harkens back to when Kip actually did that. He was just wiping out the Empire. He thought he was doing something good, but he really did something bad and butchered, millions of people. And of course, everyone in the New Republic sits back and goes, yeah, you're right. Probably the Sun Crusher, no, a little bit overkill. We shouldn't use that. But I do love how they say, hey, there are other things out there, other weapons we could use, but here's why we didn't pursue these ideas. Again, I don't remember which book that was in, but I remember them talking about it. Now, I appreciate that because you look at other stories like the Harry Potter series. Harry Potter is a fun series, but I hate to burst your bubble about it. All these magical things that, Harry Potter comes across, you're thinking, why didn't they use to defeat Dumbledore? Like the little, I remember one was the time traveling thing that Hermione got. I'm thinking, why didn't Dumbledore just spin back the clock and fight Voldemort or stop Voldemort when he was a kid? You know, you kind of think about this, and a lot of this stuff, if they had all these magical things that do this, then why didn't they use that stuff? They have all these magical things, and it's just little MacGuffins that just help the story along for that one book and then get tossed away, forgotten, not used again. Kind of weird. But in the expanded universe, they're like, hey, what's up with all these super weapons? So they tell you, they kind of break it down. Anyway, there's more of this to come with this biowarfare story, but I wanted to talk about this short story on its own. It is a good story and probably worth your time. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you later with another review.